You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Ian Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's WWE Main Event After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's WWE Main Event After Show.
Yes, babies. You're tuning in. Bing is for doing, if you will. We're sitting in here talking about some WWE main events. And we are here tonight in Los Angeles breaking down the show. It was a good show tonight. American Dream Dusty Rhodes in the studio. Tully Blanchard.
Amazing.
That's what I do.
It's not really Dusty Rhodes. It's actually Rome Moore.
What do you mean it's not Dusty Rhodes?
Well, you just broke it.
What do you mean it's not Dusty? Listen, the American Dream is never broken. The American Dream is never broken. The American Dream, what he does is he take them four horsemen and put them in the cage.
Okay.
And all the peoples, they come, they watch. First blood.
Interesting.
I want to take the four horsemen, if you will.
Okay.
I want to break them.
This sounds riveting.
That's what I do. That's what I do. Dallas Sportatorium. Well, we weren't in Dallas. We were in Houston.
We were in Houston for main event this week. That was a nice little segue for that. Welcome, everybody. If you weren't welcomed already by that. Welcome to Main Event AfterBuzz. I am Christian Rosenberg, the American Dream, Dusty / Rome Moore.
Yes, in the building.
And next to him, Miss Kaori Takee.
Hey, guys.
And you wanted to send a little message to the man whose music we were playing.
Yeah, I wanted to say happy birthday, Tanjobi Umerito, because it is his birthday, August 1st, in Japan, and therefore it is soon to be his birthday.
It is Yoshitatsu's birthday. We want to celebrate Yoshitatsu.
Yoshitatsu's birthday. He needs more matches.
Maybe for his birthday, he would be on Main Event this week. No, he's not.
That's not what happened.
No.
But I still thought of him.
We still thought of him in spirit.
That's good.
I feel like I'm in a video game listening to his music.
Well, yeah. I mean, the music did stop. I don't know if it's still ringing in your head.
It is a little.
Okay.
A little.
But yeah.
It's like I'm in a video game. Okay. Yeah. And
how about I really want to bring up real quick though. This past weekend, you had your 8-man kind of elimination tag, and I want to make sure because I heard about what happened, and I want to make sure I understand it correctly. So. It was a single elimination tag team match.
Yes.
You're the champion there.
Yes.
And whoever was the sole survivor would be the number one contender.
Yes.
Who won the match?
Me.
So you're the number one contender to your title.
Yes.
That makes no sense.
I'm sitting next to a super champ is what's happening.
Apparently,
Too much awesome. Awesome.
I guess the next show he will be wrestling himself for the title.
Well, it's
my money's on a double count out.
It's not so much the number one contendership. It's just that the person who won has the chance to challenge for the title at any point.
So you can challenge
I
yourself
just
at any
happen
point?
to be the guy.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm sure you do.
I'm
sure you do.
Well, you know what else was interesting? The fact that R-Truth had a 20-minute match today on Main Event, or like it was close to it.
Yeah,
Stranger things have happened on Main Event.
This is true, and this was one of them. Because Main Event kicks off with R-Truth versus Wade Barrett and JBL on commentary this week. No Miz.
Yeah. I know. I thought about that when I was watching. I was thinking, man, Rosie is going to be
I was very happy. I was very happy. Because we had real commentary this week.
And actually, I was listening to the commentary, and they had some really good chemistry and good comments.
Well, because JBL,
was good.
JBL's great, and he loves to make fun of Josh Matthews to no end.
It just worked really well.
Yeah,
I love JBL.
I love JBL as well. But what wasn't really working very well overall was this matchup. It started. I'm sorry, but I mean, this match started really slow. It was weird because like Wade Barrett is spending the first several minutes of the match trying to figure out what to do with R-Truth. the guy who has not wrestled more than 3 minutes in a match and won in forever, including matches against Wade Barrett that have lasted about 2 to 3 minutes. But all of a sudden, Wade Barrett can't figure R-Truth out. Maybe it's the new haircut that R-Truth has. Who knows?
The man with the most enigmatic hair in the history of the WWE.
Yeah,
R-Truth.
It is
true. Because I don't know. This dude got like dreadlocks and braids simultaneously.
He pulls it off somehow.
But he is hang like RG3, but I don't know what he's doing right now.
I just think it goes with him because there's something really crazy about him.
Well, Little Jimmy is come and gone.
Yeah.
Little Jimmy, I think, got future endeavored.
Yeah.
And I do find it kind of like his Titantron. It still says like the truth has set me free during that like very brief heel run that he had.
Yeah.
And they still haven't gotten rid of that.
They haven't gotten rid of it. They don't know what to do with him.
No, well, I mean, they don't know what to do with either of these guys.
Yeah.
And I mean, actually, the main thing on the commentary during this match was them talking about Wade Barrett, something's wrong with him. Like, he's got to get on the winning side of things. And JBL even mentions, like, you put Barrett in the ring with guys like Cesaro or Sheamus, and you have a great, entertaining fight. But for whatever, and which we've all seen and agreed upon.
Yeah.
But he can't win the matches because he's one of those guys that we have absolutely no idea what they're trying to do with him.
There's a lot of people right now that.
Yeah.
But the top, like the main guys that like you really want, that you feel like really deserve the big push.
Oh, I know.
I mean, there's 3 main ones, but one of them has been cured. One of them was Cody.
Yeah.
So that one's done. The other 2 are Barrett and Cesaro.
I know what to do with him. No, I'm just kidding.
Jesus.
All right, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. So go on.
No.
So yes, we don't know what to do with Cesaro.
Well, we're mainly talking about Barrett. I'm just bringing this up as like there's 3 main guys. But this is about Wade Barrett, Corey.
Okay.
It's about.
It's true. The Barrett.
It's about the Barrett Barrage. Really, up until the commercial break, though, this match, very slow pace. Barrett tossed R-Truth up in the air in the outside, and Truth like crashed into the steel steps face first, which looked pretty cool. And then we come back from commercial, and it's still pretty just slow. Like I felt like Wade was trying to do too much in this match because he wasn't getting enough out of R-Truth.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes obviously there are plenty of matches where you see one guy or one team carrying the other. Mm-hmm. But to an extent, they should be, you know, reciprocating. And I mean, we had it briefly with a couple big moves by R-Truth. There was like he had a huge heel kick, which looked great, and then sunset flip off the ropes, which you don't normally see a guy like Barrett take. So to Barrett's credit, you know, he was trying to get involved during R-Truth's comeback and really taking the moves well. But I could not buy into this match.
What do you guys think of R-Truth's finisher that he did in this
the
match?
pay dirt?
Yeah.
I like that finisher. I just think it needs a guy. I think a guy needs to use that will actually win matches because it's a good move. It's pretty much a flatliner, but you're just jumping with it.
I think it looks kind of weird, but I mean,
well, a number of finishers kind of look weird.
Yeah,
but he never puts anybody away with it. So can you technically call it a finisher anymore?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I guess that's why I'm kind of perplexed by it.
In the video games, it's his finisher.
Yes, yeah, it is.
Who picks R-Truth to be?
Random.
At random?
I mean, you know,
you could hit that question mark button.
It might end up having to be him.
It just lands on him, and you can just hear the kid going, "Oh!"
Like, I'm gonna lose this match.
Oh man.
The match ends where R-Truth hits his. I mean, it used to be called the pay dirt, but I don't know if R-Truth ever renamed it. But Barrett rolled out of the ring after he hit it. Yeah. R-Truth goes for a suicide dive. At that point, Barrett had the arm rolled down for the bullhammer, clocks him, and Barrett comes in and makes the pin. And this is like Barrett's first win that we've seen on TV in months as well. I mean, even Josh Matthews and JBO, like, will this win finally like start something for Wade Barrett? I'm guessing because it was on main event, probably not. But we can hope. And we can hope that maybe all of a sudden he shows up on SmackDown and wins, shows up on Raw and wins. You know, maybe start something, because again, he's one of those guys, or he's great. He's got a great look. He's a good wrestler. He's good on the microphone.
Yeah.
Why can't they find something for him? Like something long term.
Because they've pushed on to other guys.
Right, but I mean, but then
That's-
it doesn't mean he has to be in a title
Yeah.
match. He can still feud with somebody else that has nothing to do with a title.
Or maybe he isn't playing the game backstage as well as we think he should.
But that's up for speculation.
Yeah, that's true.
That's another question. So you never know. Maybe he should just go and lift weights with because to me, Sheamus has the spot that he was going to have. So maybe he should have went and lifted weights with Triple H.
Well, I think the two of them were ready to have a huge feud before Barrett dislocated his elbow like a year or so ago.
Yeah.
Injury does that.
chance.
Yeah, that'll do it. All right, star rating for R-Truth versus Wade Barrett. What we got?
I give it an average score of 2.5. I thought it was good. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, I liked this. It got progressively more entertaining, and I do like watching Wade Barrett in action because we don't get enough of him recently. So,
All right, Rome.
Cool. Yeah, I'm giving it a 2.5 only because their false finishes really picked up the pace.
Yeah,
of the
just
match.
pretty much like the last 2 minutes of the match was like really the only.
When they got into their falsies, I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm watching.
It's
Now
like,
I'm
oh, now it's time.
Yeah.
But yeah, see, my problem with that is I shouldn't have to wait for the last 2 minutes of the match to
That is
be
true.
entertained by the match. So I'm gonna give it a 2.
okay.
And I love Barrett. I've never personally been the biggest fan of R-Truth, and I would think a match like this, I expected more out of R-Truth than what I got.
Yeah.
Like the last few minutes, very entertaining. I'm not expecting you to go in all those falsies for 15 minutes straight,
No.
but there should have been a little more to get us into the match.
I will say it wasn't just the last 2 minutes. It was really the point from, and now I'm going into wrestler speak, after the heat finished and
Right.
they really got into their back and forths. That's kind of where it picked up the pace at to me.
Kind of like with the winds that change, the sunset flip, and all that. Yeah.
And that heel kick out of God knows
The heel
where he
kick
got
looked
that
great.
from.
The heel kick looked fantastic.
That came out of nowhere. Plus, R-Truth's a nice guy. I've met him a few times, actually.
Oh, my name's Rome. I'm going to be a name dropper and say I hung out with
know.
R-Truth.
Oh, let me pick that up.
Oh. All right, from that, we got a recap of the situation that happened between CM Punk, Paul Heyman, and Curtis Axel on Raw. And I got to fill in on Raw this week, so I talked a little bit about this on.
Aren't you the little superstar?
Hey, I'm kind of a big deal around here.
Oh,
I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm.
Kind of a big deal.
Then
that's what he
why
said.
can't you win a predictions championship?
You know why? You know why? You know why? Because I like letting other people have glory.
Oh,
Oh no.
No, that's
I
not
know
it.
you, and that's not
not
why.
it.
It's on for snap, babies. It's on for SummerSlam.
Dusty, when did you come back?
It's on for SummerSlam. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna go with Miss Kaori over here.
Yeah,
It's
that's the way to go.
not. I'm not comfortable with how good you are at that. But no, I mean, no. The thing that I mentioned on Raw and kind of like touch on it here as well is the fact that I was really annoyed at the fact that the ref never rang the bell in this match. That happened on
You know
Raw.
what? I
like-
never even noticed that.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Because the recap showed Punk running down, pulling Axel out of the ring, kind of clubbering him, so he has the ability to get to Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
But he does that in the midst of Curtis Axel's match, ironically against R-Truth, and
Yeah.
there was no bell. We have a bell,
We
but
have
there
one.
was no bell.
Do you feel better?
I feel a little better.
Okay.
We have
Another
multiple
bell.
bells
We
here.
have all kinds of bells.
I don't know, or that
Under
might
the
have been a
table.
fire alarm.
Under the
But-
table.
But, like, the bell never rang. The ref never said, by disqualification, outside interference, your winner is Curtis Axel. Because technically, Axel won the match by disqualification. And then it was just the whole thing of Punk kind of took him down, ran across, got his hands on Heyman, but then Axel miraculously got back up really quickly and started
Yeah.
clubbing Punk again. Punk again took him down, but that gave Heyman the opportunity to somehow sprint, as only Paul Heyman can, apparently. All the way
Look
up.
out, Usain Bolt.
Yeah, all the way up the ramp in the stage. Yeah, watch out, Usain Bolt. Here comes Paul Heyman.
I like it.
And-
I like him running.
But it was just like one of those awkward moments where all right, CM Punk is obsessed with trying to beat up a guy who's not a wrestler.
Well, I mean,
obviously they have the personal vendetta and all, and the storyline is mainly around Punk and Heyman, with Lesnar being Heyman's, muscle for it. But I mean, you rarely saw Austin and McMahon. They would always try to like outsmart each other, but you rarely had the moment where Austin is running around grabbing him to beat him up, unless it was like a setup for like maybe they finally had the match, or like if he wins this match, he gets 5 minutes with Vince or things like that. I mean, now in that example, obviously Vince is the boss, so you can't really do that. But to me, it almost makes, as weird as it sounds, to me, it almost makes Punk look weak, trying to chase and go after a guy who's not an actual wrestler.
I don't think it makes him look weak at all.
I might be alone on this one, and I kind of expected that. I expected that. But to me, he just looks a little weaker, just trying to chase down a manager.
It's the heel manager, though.
Yes.
It's the dastardly, I've set up situation after situation after situation that screwed you. You need to get your hands on me type of thing. Because let's say it's just Lesnar, and he gets his hands on Lesnar, he beats Lesnar. You still have the mind behind the monster that created the entire situation. So you haven't solved anything, because Heyman will just find another guy.
Right. No, I understand that. But at the same time, look at Bobby Heenan. Yes, guys got their hands on him where he was involved in tag matches, things like that. But did a guy come out when he was not involved in a match and grab Bobby Heenan?
I don't remember. I was 6.
Yes, but I'm sure you've eventually seen more videos or things since then.
I always like when people grab. I like when
you're making it sound like I really have no life when I say that, and I appreciate that very much.
You're welcome. No, there's that moment when the face gets his hand on the heel manager, and it's always that moment of, oh, what's gonna happen now?
Yeah, finally he gets it after he overcomes the obstacles.
Yeah, I mean,
Punk hasn't overcome the obstacles.
If it was, and rest in peace, if it was the late great sensational Sherry that Punk was coming after, then that's one thing. Then that looks weak because that's a woman. But this is a guy who placed himself in the ring at Money in the Bank and attacked Punk with a ladder. You can't discount that.
Who betrayed him.
No, you're right.
So.
He did portray him, and I like I was saying, I don't have a problem necessarily with him finally, like, over time getting his hands on him, but not like try to get involved in a match that has nothing to do with you, just to try to get your hands on in the case, a harmless man, like powerless manager. In that situation, like, you have your match with Lesnar, you beat Lesnar, Lesnar's down, then you could go for Heyman because he's there, he was involved in the match.
Well, he could be just really threatening him on purpose, like really, if he got his hands on him at that moment.
So he's bullying him? He's not being a star?
He could be bullying him.
Be a star, though. WWE.
Some people need. Paul Heyman likes being bullied deep down.
Be a
star. We're gonna be a star. We're gonna make up a song for it. I'm sure we're gonna get more into this, obviously, on SmackDown and Raw.
Yeah.
And probably have more to talk about with it next week. But in the meantime, before we do that, we should tell everyone to make sure they go over to iTunes and like and subscribe this wonderful podcast, as well as all the other WWE-related AfterBuzz we have here, because we have Raw, Main Event, SmackDown. We now have Total Divas as well to check out. We also do the pay-per-views and a smorgasbord of other excellent television programs. And you could find out all those programs also by going to the newly refurbished AfterBuzzTV.com, where it's much easier to look around for your favorite shows, see what your hosts are up to, and make sure that when you rate and leave comments, whether it's on AfterBuzzTV.com, iTunes, or YouTube, wherever it is, make sure you tell us what you like, you don't like, let us know so we can make the show more entertaining for you guys. And, of course, tell friends, subscribe, 5 stars, thumbs up, likes, loves, smiley faces, all that stuff.
I think you should use the word, I don't think you should.
Pow!
I think you should
These
use
loopy late night shows.
Not refurbished. I think you should use like renovated.
Renovated?
Yeah, because
renovated.
Refurbished, people look at, here's a refurbished iPad.
No,
like
I'm cool with you saying refurbished. I'm cool with it.
Holy hole in a donut.
What?
That was
I don't think-
different.
That was another
Again.
Robin soundbite.
Late night shows. That's what happens.
It's always fun.
How about upgraded? It's upgraded.
Upgraded? That's a good one.
Is that a good
That's
one?
A good one.
All
I
right.
like that.
AfterBuzzTV.com. Period. Go.
There it is. Go
There.
to it.
All right. We talk about now how Alberto Del Rio this Friday on SmackDown gets to choose his opponent for SummerSlam for the World Heavyweight Championship because Vicky gave him a week to think about it. But this past Raw, Christian actually beat him. So you got to try to figure out how this might play into that.
Yep.
But the biggest highlight of this was Josh Matthews asked JBL if you had the opportunity to pick anyone to defend the title against, who would it be? First answer?
I don't.
You don't remember?
I don't.
It wasn't as memorable for you?
I wasn't ready.
No.
I was gonna tell you this is completely forgetful for me.
I thought this was
forgetful
hilarious.
for me.
Because JBL said, like, immediately, just on point, Barry
Oh
Horowitz.
yeah, Barry Horowitz.
Or Hornswoggle. Or you. Or in points to Josh Matthews.
I love how as they're going to commercial, he goes Barry Horowitz.
Barry Horowitz.
I could beat him.
I can beat him. Barry Horowitz. Right up there with the Brooklyn Brawler as arguably the greatest jobber of all time.
Brooklyn Brawler was good.
Brooklyn Brawler was a great wrestler, but he never won.
He never won.
Yeah.
Obviously. Nothing beat when I was 6 and I got to go watch the WWF at the time and watch the Brooklyn Brawler live.
You're only a year older than me, so I don't.
What were you doing when you were 5?
I was watching wrestling.
Underachiever. I was there.
Oh
Live.
my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah, I was there.
Wow. I'm never going to
I
call
was-
one of your matches again. And if I do, I'm only going to say bad things.
See? Well, I'm a heel, so go with it. Hashtag heel.
Hashtag heel.
That's Ziggler. Can't do it.
No.
Yeah, see? No, you can boo me. You can boo me. You can scream. I come out in the crowd. Be careful.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Tag team action on main event. Primetime players out there to take on the Usos. And the Usos went from seldomly used, a.k.a. lowest guys on the car with Pyro.
Oh, God. There we use
They
it
went
again.
from that to being on every freaking show.
Every show.
Yep.
Every show they're wrestling now.
Even the Total Diva show.
Even Total Diva, they're on.
Yeah, they show up
every,
on
they're
Total
literally on
Divas,
every
main
show.
event, Raw, SmackDown. I don't know what they're doing, but they show up on everything.
But well, I mean, they're pushing them to the moon now,
Saturday
which
Morning Slam.
good. They're proud. Yeah, I don't think that show's on anymore.
Yeah,
but
they're still on
but
it.
they're still on
They're
it.
still on it. Yeah.
All American Wrestling, they're somehow still on it.
they're Saturday
Live
Night's
Wire,
main
they're
event
showing up.
somehow. Yeah, they are.
Every failed WWE show, they're
Yeah.
still on.
I heard one of them showed up.
Shock
at King
on
of the
Saturday
Ring.
night, they're still there.
Still there. Still showing up, man. Still showing up.
This Sunday on Sunday Night Heat, the Usos.
Yeah.
I mean, they're on
Every show.
every show.
Every show.
So this tag team match, Roman, we were looking at each other in this match. It was like, what the hell is going on? Because
Yeah.
the roles were like completely reversed in this match. It was the Usos the entire time working on one body part on Darren Young, the heel, and then the ref getting distracted by Titus, the heel, and the Usos doing blind tags, the faces. It was like,
Blind
what is
tags,
going
double
on?
teams.
I was like, did some double swerve happen that
Yeah,
I
it
was
was
uninformed of?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's matches like this and these weird things that happen on main event that make me feel like main event is a show for everyone to just kind of test out the waters and see what they can try to do with each other, and it's just a unique platform for them to do new things.
I mean, the only
Out of the box.
The only thing that I can think of out of this is they're trying to slowly plant seeds of Darren Young and Titus arguing with each other and breaking up, which I do not want.
No, I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon.
I hope not.
I hope not.
Yeah.
I don't want it to. I mean, that's the only logical reason I can see in them doing something like this.
They didn't give Darren anything for the first 10 minutes. of that
Darren
match.
Young got the crap beat out of him
Yeah.
for 10 minutes. Finally makes a tag to Titus. We go to commercial.
Titus didn't do much.
We go to commercial. We come back. Titus gives a body slam and then tags
It
Darren.
tags out.
Darren then goes for a while. Actually hit a real nice neck breaker on
Yeah.
Jimmy on the apron, which looked really good. And then Titus gets tagged back in, or tags himself in, hits a clothesline, and then tags Darren back
Yes, that's what kept happening.
I mean, that was pretty much the equivalent of it.
Little tan John Cena, get back in the ring.
It was, it was just Darren Young.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know if this was just a hidden jab at the primetime players or if it just came out wrong, but all of a sudden Josh Matthews on commentary goes, the primetime players have taken the Usos out of this match and the WWE universe.
Oh, gosh.
Like, I know he's trying to say, they've silenced the crowd, but because of like the heels beating down. But it sounded like, oh, that's not nice, dude. Because I like the primetime players.
Yeah.
I think everyone likes the primetime players.
We like them.
Yeah, and I do like him. I mean, Titus is on the verge of something big.
He's phenomenal.
But I do like Darren Young also. I like the two of them together. I think they work well with each other.
Tanned John Cena.
Yeah,
That's what you should call him.
Isn't he black?
Yes, but he's the tanned John Cena.
I think the black John Cena.
Which one's the
black
tan John Cena?
Darren.
Darren. Okay.
If he cuts his hair short.
If he cuts his hair short and he was a white guy, he's John Cena's twin.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, you don't remember when he first showed up?
Oh, you gotta pull up a picture of him right now because it is identical.
I will pull it.
They've even joked about it on Raw.
Wasn't it
Really?
Nexus?
Interesting.
Oh, what storyline did he come in on?
And he was with NXT, like
NXT,
first NXT, and he was in Nexus and all that.
Yeah.
So.
When he first showed up, I honestly was like, "Who's the guy that looks just like John Cena?" I didn't know he was black. I didn't like none of that.
Yeah.
Really?
They're friggin' if Darren Young happened to be white, the two of them could act like the Usos.
If he happened to be white.
And back then he was a little bit more shredded than he is now. Yeah. So he had that look.
I'm just thinking about the build. They're just different builds, but
Not really.
really,
Not too far.
Not too far
John
apart.
Cena's so like wide.
Cena's not that much bigger than Darren.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well,
He is bigger, but not that much.
Not by much.
Yeah.
You're gonna do some homework and you're gonna look at the two
I'm
of them
gonna
and be
do
like,
homework, and I'll be like,
well, this match eventually ends with Titus barely in the match, and then he's the one who gets pinned. I mean, like all of a sudden he's the one crashes in the turnbuckle, gets hit with a nice double super kick, and then the Uso splash, which they really need to think of a new finisher because when only one guy in a tag team does a finisher, that's kind of a problem.
they don't rotate. Like, who
No,
gets to get on top?
it's usually.
Which
Now I don't
one
know. I think
is
doesn't know.
it?
I want to say it's Jay that usually does the splash.
One of these things.
I have
not
a
like the other.
50-50 shot of getting on the right.
Yeah.
But Usos
You
pick
never
up.
know.
Yeah, Usos pick up the win. Not really a shock there because obviously they're pushing the Usos to the moon and not doing so much with the primetime players. So.
But I want to talk real quick about the primetime players. Is there one that you prefer more than the other?
I prefer Titus because I think Titus has an all-around.
Yeah.
Because Titus is getting better and better in the ring each time. He's just got a great. He's got a great physique. He's huge. He's got a great look to him, and he's incredibly entertaining.
And I completely agree with you, and that's why I'm kind of perplexed on why he didn't perform more on this particular match where they made the other one perform more.
I don't know.
Well,
Maybe they want to see more of Darren.
They actually made Titus look strong.
They made Titus look like, because all of a sudden when he got tagged in, then the Usos were like kind of take a step back and like, oh
That's true,
wait
they
a
did.
minute,
Regroup.
we got to regroup because now the big guy got in.
Yeah.
But they did pin him.
But then they ended up pinning him.
Yeah.
I like him though. I like both of them. Obviously, I really like the primetime players, but I like Titus just because of the whistle.
He comes out with a whistle and like the football flag. Well, he does the
Omega Sci-Fi.
wow. No, can you do that one more time,
Yeah,
please,
one more time,
Corey?
please. I need to hear that one more time. Did you go oof, oof?
Do it. Do it. Hey, Rome, how would Dusty Rhodes do it?
No, I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
I want Dusty Rhodes to imitate Titus O'Neil.
That's too hard. I have too much
can do
respect
it.
for the brothers of Omega Sci-Fi, because that's where he gets that from.
All right, well.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, I'm gonna one day make you have Dusty Rhodes.
I have to study that one.
All right. I'm gonna give this match a 2.5 star. It was a solid tag match, but I was for like 2/3 of the match, I was utterly confused as what they were doing because the Usos were acting as heels in the match, and I didn't understand why.
Okay.
So, but I mean, it was still a fun match. They eventually then got on board, and it was, oh, you're like good tag match or heel versus face, or whatever. But yeah, 2.5 for me.
Rome.
Oh, okay. She's just gonna shoot it right back at me.
She's shooting right back at you.
I liked it because it was different. The double swerve caught my attention.
Yeah.
It made me go. I didn't sit there for 10 minutes going, and then now they've started. So I'm gonna give it a 3.
Okay.
I think partially because this seemed to have been the affirmative action main event tonight. It was a lot of color tonight. So I'm gonna give it 3.
There's not enough yellow.
Now that I'm thinking about it. Now that I'm thinking about it, if Kofi wasn't injured, he probably would have been on.
He would have been
Yeah.
main event too tonight.
Wow.
Yeah. It was. I don't know, man. It was.
That almost sounds rude, but at the same time, no, that's a complete accurate statement.
It was. That was a black person in every single match.
There actually was.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See?
Yes.
Things that black guys notice.
Corey, what would you give it?
I would give it 3 stars. I thought it was more entertaining than the previous match. And I know that it was kind of confusing and messy, to say the least, but I really liked watching Titus, and I thought it was a good match.
We have a start of how Cesaro came about.
Like a little crush, a little
No.
high school crush on
Titus
Titus.
crush.
He don't speak
An
5 languages.
You know the saying.
Or does he?
Once you go black. What?
All right, Rome. Moving on.
So 3.
3 star.
Then we get the recap of what happened on Raw with Daniel Bryan, John Cena, Vince McMahon, Ryback. We didn't get anything with Kane and the Wyatts, which kind of bummed. Like that was the one
was a really
recap.
fun
That was the one recap I wanted.
I'm surprised
didn't get
because
it.
they're so popular right now, and everyone loves this whole concept of the Wyatts and Kane and follow the buzzers. I'm surprised they didn't recap that.
Follow the buzzards.
No, they didn't recap it.
I mean, we all know what's going on with Cena and Bryan. I mean,
Yeah.
entertaining nonetheless, but
But yeah, the thing that we got out of it on this past Monday's Raw is the fact that Vince was pretty much talking down to Daniel, saying he doesn't have the ruthless aggression like Cena has, and then claiming that Cena was saying, like that's why that he chose Daniel Bryan as his opponent, and so now we're having the actual drama between Daniel Bryan and Cena. With them talking about, all right, Cena, did you lie to me? Or, because Vince might not always say nice things about me, but he always tells he's always honest.
Yeah.
And so now we're getting like, now he's might be calling Cena a liar. And Cena doesn't like that. That makes Cena angry.
Cena angry now.
Angry Cena. And then they cut to the recap of the tables match with him and Ryback, which is actually an entertaining tables match, even though we saw it about 2 months ago. But it was still a good match.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It was a fun tables match.
it was like a pay-per-view.
And then you had
Rinse and repeat.
yeah, and then you had Daniel Bryan skip down grab the title, and like pretend to give it to Cena. It's like, nope, this is gonna be mine on Sunday. And then Cena, though, grabbing it back. Because no, this is mine right now. It is not yours, like type deal. So
The shirt says it.
yeah, the shirt even has a picture of it on it.
It's right there.
Yeah,
Our time equals now.
yeah.
Says it. Simple. Tries to give everybody a formula. The equations right there.
If they just read it.
Yeah.
Eh. But yeah, so they're really trying to build up more emotion and more, because you got face versus face, so they're trying to build some type of hatred, some type of rivalry, and they started really sprinkling it in this past Raw. Hopefully, they really capitalize it.
Do you think
next
it's
week.
working?
I think it is. Well, I don't know if it works. It's going to work the way they want it to. Because if anything, it's going to make people cheer for Daniel Bryan even more than
Right.
Cena, which they already are, or they are already.
Yeah.
But
Got some long legs. Okay, go on.
but they don't. She was talking about Rome. For those of you listening to this, they are sitting next to each other, and apparently Corey bumped into one of Rome's legs. Thanks for staying on topic, Corey. I appreciate it.
Trying to figure out where to put my legs here. I'm tall.
So
This is
I think for the rest of the show, we just should have sound bites.
Yeah. I need a theme song for. I think I'm gonna create a segment for things that black guys notice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Steven Lemieux.
Yeah.
Here's your host for it, Ron Moore.
That's close. I don't know if we can do that one for things black guys
That
notice.
should be your new entrance music.
Nah.
Wow.
No, that's. I don't know how I feel about that one right now.
Well, how did you feel? Again, Segway King. How did you feel about Mark Henry versus the 1MB Drew McIntyre?
I actually felt bad for the 1MB.
No Heath Slater, no Jinder Mahal. We could not hinder because Jinder was not there.
Yeah.
But he got to do it twice. He got to wrestle twice in 2 weeks, so that's a huge improvement for him.
Yeah, well, it's great that McIntyre's getting time on TV.
Yeah.
But I get Heath Slater and Jinder were both in Australia while WWE was overseas, which kind of makes no sense to me. If it's a group of 3 guys, you either bring all 3 of them or you don't bring them at all.
Yeah.
So in Australia, it's 2MB.
It was 2MB in Australia.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's 2
So
in
it's just
Australia.
like, what the hell are you?
Yeah.
Maybe he's flying now.
I mean, you either save money on 2 plane tickets, or you're saying, oh, we couldn't afford the 3rd MB.
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe they're like, you have the choice. You can get on this plane with us, or you can get on a match with Mark Henry. He's like,
He did.
I'll take it.
He did
well,
have
I
a
mean,
great
well,
match
then you
with
get the
Sin Cara.
TV.
Yeah.
And then did have the good match with Sin Cara. Well, all of them were there for that one.
Yeah, that's true.
But he did lose to Sin Cara, and he did lose to Mark Henry.
Did you think he was
You
going to
lost
beat
to-
Mark Henry?
Well, no, but
You lost to Sin Cara. Listen, we have a trip. You can't go.
We could only take whoever won that match between Sin Cara and Drew McIntyre. Sorry, Drew.
And Sin Cara was not there, and now he's the new bass player for 3MB.
If Sin Cara comes out with 3MB, that'd be fantastic.
actually, Joseph in the chat says that rumor has it that Drew's visa papers weren't updated, so he couldn't go on the tour.
Yeah, but our reason's funnier.
Yeah, I like our reason. I
That
like
one's
having
more tragic.
I like a Spanish guitar player.
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
3MB. I think I prefer that. Yeah.
So this match, it was like 3 minutes. McIntyre, the big thing was McIntyre actually knocked Mark Henry down in a match with a nice kick. And Mark Henry was off his feet, and he went for a cover. He got a 1 count and was freaking out that he only got a 1 count.
Yeah.
Henry dominated World's Strongest Slam.
Of course, yeah.
That was it. It was just Mark Henry destroying Drew
I mean,
McIntyre.
by the time we started watching the match, Mark Henry was already in the ring, and it was just almost like, what's the word? Like, it was kind of funny to see him there, and who's gonna lose to Mark Henry now? You know, like right away. You just know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it would have been better. Actually, no, you make up a great point. It would have been better for the TV viewers if McIntyre came out first.
Yeah.
Because they're like, all right, Drew McIntyre's by himself. Who is going to take on? And then Henry's music hits, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, God.
Yeah.
Because with Mark Henry coming out first, it's like, all right, who's losing to Mark Henry?
Yeah, exactly. It's like we're done.
This is like we already know who's going.
We already
Spoiler
know.
alert!
They're like
Yeah.
backstage, like, hey, we have 3 extra minutes. You wanna go?
You want to go out there?
Let's see who's back here that
My music.
who's back here that we know. Yeah, who's back here that we can expect a loss in 3 minutes? That's a heel. Hey, Drew, you're not in Australia.
Yeah.
Why don't you head out there?
It's the one-man band.
Yeah, they should adjust the
They
music.
just changed it. One-man band.
But yeah,
Do it.
Mark Henry squash win. I'll give it 2.5 because it did what it was supposed to do. It was a
Yeah.
squash match.
Lowest for me of the night, 2.
Rome.
You know what? I mean, it was what it was supposed to be. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 2.5.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it did its job.
Mark Henry left.
It's
and-
not like we forgot that Mark Henry is.
So define what the job was.
The job was for Mark Henry to look vicious and destroy an opponent within 3 minutes.
Okay.
Did it do that?
I mean, Mark Henry always looks vicious.
Yeah. That's why I don't know why they had to give it to
He
him.
could have done that with 85% of the roster. And I'm pretty sure.
But we had Mark Henry on main event.
We did.
So that's cool.
I know he's happy right now. He went out in Houston, had a little fun.
Oh, yeah,
at
near
the
his hometown.
fine gentleman establishments down there that he likes to go to.
So that means he might be on SmackDown this weekend. I mean, this week, right?
He could very well, but that meant he wasn't in Australia.
He was not in Australia.
Yeah. So that is how main event ends with Mark Henry. However, I did before we end wanted to talk about a little news and gossip that happened, and it was like a big story that came out yesterday.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Yeah, we have the news and gossip music going because this is a big deal. Ever. So the WWE this week was actually in South Africa, and then from there they're going to China. Like, they're all over the place in the last 2 weeks. It's absurd. But the big story that's been on TMZ, front page of Yahoo, and everything was Randy Orton competed in a match in South Africa. It looked like he wrestled Big E, just some match for the crowd in South Africa. And then match ends, Orton's celebrating, he's posing on the second rope, and a fan enters the ring and gives Orton a low blow while he's standing on the ropes. At that point, then eventually security came in, got him out of there. Not before, though, Orton got a nice kick in the face. He kicked the guy in the face. You hear, and like this is like footage from like someone's phone that was sitting ringside, and you see Big E with a security guy as they're like walking by, and you hear Big E tell the security guy that's not part of the show. And it's just all this talk about it. But here's the interesting thing. I think the way watching it and everything, I think it's a work. And I'm going to tell you why. When you break a few things down for it, WWE.com talks about it. It's on their website. They would not normally post something like this.
Normally they don't.
Now, the argument that people can make from that is, well, you have all the social media now, so they're going to talk about it, so naturally they should respond, which is true. Then the other random thought that might not be a work is, if there was a setup somewhere in the internet show where other wrestlers were going to be coming through the crowd, say the Shield was there, and they're going to go through the crowd, who knows? Because then the security guards know that somewhere during the night, people are going to be coming up the barricade. But they might not be wrestling fans, might not necessarily know who.
They may not know what's happening.
Best example of that was many years ago on Raw. There was a ladder match between Eddie Guerrero and RVD, and a fan jumped over the barricade and pushed the ladder down on Eddie Guerrero.
I remember that.
But the thing was, security didn't get to him in time because there was a plan of Chris Benoit to come through the crowd at the end of that match. So all of a sudden, that guy comes through, the security guard's around there. Oh, that must be the wrestler at the time. So he got a lot more time in the ring than he should have.
It's funny because the guy was so skinny that got in the ring and pushed over the rail.
Yeah.
I need them to see, like, if you work in security for a wrestling event, please show them pictures or something so they know who's involved and who's not.
Right.
Like, hey, here's Chris Benoit. He's on the short side. He's like 5'10", but he's 220 pounds. You can't miss him. Here's a skinny regular guy.
Right. You know, in the case, like, just say it was the Shield that's supposed to go through the crowd. If this was the case, so like, all right, here are the pictures of the guys. Here's Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins. These are the guys that could come through that are allowed over the barricade.
They'll be in all
nobody else.
Yeah.
So the guy was in the ring, though, long enough where he should have been tackled as soon as he jumped the barricade, let alone got in the ring.
Yeah.
And he wasn't. He got to stand in the ring, kind of stand there for a second,
He actually
then delivered a low blow.
He got in the ready pose after the low blow.
And then here's the other thing. The guy that did it is a wrestler out in South Africa. He was revealed as I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but he was interviewed, and he was like afterwards, and he pretty much said, "Is like I never liked Randy Orton." Or you know, and like now he could be just going in for himself, which is also a possibility. But when you throw all these different things in, it almost sounds like maybe they're trying to get some hype at a non-televised event, and maybe this guy, like, who knows? Maybe on Raw, Orton wrestles, and a fan comes in again, and it could end up being the same guy. Who knows? I could be overlooking this and be like a whole conspiracy theory. But it all kind of adds up to saying this might be an actual angle and not just some random fan coming in.
Or it could be something that becomes an angle.
Yes,
well.
because the guy also did not get sent to jail when it was all said and done. He got banned from the venue that it was, but he was never officially arrested.
Yeah.
Right. It says apparently someone in the chat says the guy got a 5-year ban.
5-year ban from the venue. Yeah.
No charges were filed, but Randy does have the option to do it.
And if he hasn't yet,
But why would he? I mean,
I've had people jump in the ring on me. I've never pressed charges against them.
right.
You know.
But if people have jumped in the ring in your matches, guys were there immediately to take him down.
Not so much.
Well, also
that
depends on the
last time.
security.
I
Yeah.
want to try that. I want to jump in the ring while you're.
Well, I mean, if depending on the venue, you might not have as
Yeah.
many security guys like
See,
WWE has.
We had a show on Sunset Boulevard, and
Uh-huh.
a guy jumped in the ring on my match with another SoCal wrestler, and basically, I luckily heard him coming.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally had to take matters into my own hands. So I defended myself and took that guy down.
Oof.
And as I'm holding him, I have two choices. I can either get in ground and pound, or I can just hold him down because I had every limb on his body tied up.
Right.
And I'm thinking, well, let me not hit him because security is going to beat this guy out of the club. It's Sunset Strip. We're at the Key Club.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking that, they're going to destroy this guy.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, and I look to my right, and I'm looking at the security guard.
They're not going because they have no idea. They think it's part of the show.
He's looking at me
They
like,
think it's part of the show.
and it took people screaming, "This isn't part of the show," for them to rush in and drag him out.
They need to be better informed, and just in general for all
Yeah.
future matches, for anything. Like, I don't know why security guards are just hired for like one moment, and they need to know more about what they're looking.
You know
at.
who never messed that up? ECW security. ECW security
they're
never
involved.
missed a beat.
And it
I was
pays
scared of those guys. They
See?
could.
They were giants.
And
Yeah.
you take notice. And you take notice.
Yeah, things
So.
that black guys notice.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
Oh, well. I
That
wouldn't
was
say
that was
but-
this week's edition of Things That Black Guys Notice. This is your music for Things That
There
Black
it
Guys
is.
Notice, right
There
here.
it is. Yeah, we can definitely go with that one.
But yeah, so I'm really curious to see if on Raw that they actually bring up the issue in South
they talk
Africa.
about it,
Because
yeah.
if they talk about it on Raw, then you almost know it's an angle. And
Yeah,
I
sure.
think it's a very unique angle. And if it is an angle, I think it's really cool. And they're getting all the press fooled,
Yeah.
which so would be great for
It's not
them.
the first time they've done it. It
Careful,
just would be
Rosie.
the first time it got so big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Fans have jumped a lot of rails, and this is the
And
first
this
one
is-
to be on Yahoo.
that's the thing. And this one, though, got all this press.
Yeah.
So curious to see what happens with that. And I'm curious to see what happens next week on Main Event. But until we get to that point, Kaori, how can people reach out to you?
You can reach out to me at KAORIOUS Kaorius on Twitter and find out what other shows I will be on this week.
Yep. Rome the Ruler, as always, on Twitter. Working tomorrow night. Katsuya stand-up show.
Oh, yeah, you're doing
Are
some
you
stand-up
really?
comedy tomorrow.
I will be there.
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
checking it out as well. It's actually just
Yeah.
down the street from where I live.
Yeah.
So I can walk there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know where you live. I'm not going to say that right here. Yeah.
Yeah, don't give my address out on the air, please. That'd be kind of creepy. And you can find me
3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4 Main Street.
Ask Kaori where you can find him.
Yeah, right. Well, you can find me on Twitter at I'm the master of segues. At CRosieVOC. This Sunday, if you're in the Indio Palm Springs area, Alpha Omega Wrestling, I will be there calling the action. We got a little
Great show.
we got a little Royal Rumble at the show to determine the #1 contender. Who knows? Someone might be jumping out of the commentary booth
Possibly.
and trying to get himself a title shot. There's only one way to find out. But, we'll see. But in the meantime, hit me up on Twitter. Thank you for tuning in for Corey and Rome. I'm Christian Rosenberg. We'll see you next week.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later,
people.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.